Hola, today we're gonna have our journey about the Bad Bunny new song, and let's go.
Bad Bunny this and Bad Bunny that. If you don't speak Spanish, let me explain to you why the internet is freaking out about Bad Bunny's new album. So let's start with the title, Debí tirar más fotos, which means I should have taken more pictures. So that in itself is a universal message to not take anything for granted.
Yes, I think this album is actually inspired me to cherish the current people that I have, and it really touched me because I used to be toxic. I don't cherish people enough. I wish I could do better. The past in the past. I guess that's a thing that I want to change. So why this album actually touched me and made me want to change.
Bad Bunny also released this documentary with the album. It follows the day in the life of a normal Puerto Rican man as he goes to get some lunch, but he has some really interesting interactions on the way that reflect the gentrification of the island. One of the big...
Yes, I saw this some clips about this documentary. This old man walking just along the wall, and there's some young teenagers. They still leave the Puerto Rico, but they kind of being affected by those American culture. They had an American barbecue. They listen to the hip hop songs. The neighborhood doesn't feel very similar and familiar to that old man.
One of the biggest examples in the documentary is when the older man tries to pay for a quesito, and then they tell him that they don't have the quesitos or the vegan quesitos, and it's a whole issue about the quesitos, and then it all comes out to be $30 for the quesito and a tripleta, and then it turns out he can't even pay with cash because so much has changed. They only take Apple Pay. So at this point, a younger Puerto Rican man steps in and says these very powerful words.
Seguimos aquí.
Sí, seguimos aquí.
Seguimos aquí, which means we're still here. So I think Bad Bunny really is sending a message to the Puerto Rican community that the younger people have not forgotten the history of the island. And in the documentary, he also...
Guys, day 2, let's dig into this new album of the Bad Bunny, and about the documentary, I saw some clips of it. I was very touched about those things. Nice young guy just stand up and pay for this old man, because I feel like that's a thing that really touched me, that made me even cry a little bit, because when your home doesn't feel like your home, everything feels so strange. Even I just want to go out to have a lunch to buy some food, and this thing even become difficult for me. And about the quesito, it's a thing that I want to buy from my friend. I can even do this simple thing now. This land, the Puerto Rico feels very different and strange for this old man, and that just makes me want to cry, because I can't help thinking, what if when we're getting older, we will face the same fate like this? Especially for those Puerto Rico people, they proud of their culture, because it's a symbol of their history, I guess, and that means something even more. So it's very heart-aching to see that happen.
Also has this tiny little sapo concho frog, which apparently people thought was extinct until a while ago, and figured out that it wasn't extinct and it is native to Puerto Rico, which is kind of another analogy, as in people may be thinking that the history and the culture of Puerto Rico could be forgotten, but it isn't. And like that guy said, seguimos aquí. And you can hear that in the music. He uses very traditional Puerto Rican sounds, music, and instruments that are native to the island. And Bad Bunny highlights how Puerto Ricans have preserved a lot of African history through music, specifically with Bomba en Plena. And on his album, he incorporates his own modern versions of these songs and beats and rhythms that can be traced directly to some of the first Africans to arrive in Puerto Rico through the slave trade. So I definitely think Bad Bunny outdid himself with this album. There are so many things I really didn't even mention. So let me know in the comments some of your favorite things from the documentary and from the album.